Hey, what's going on everybody? Desir here with another Cosmic Crucible video for you. We are in week 2, round 1, and our opponent today is Matt. We did go 1 and 2 last week, so we need to make sure that we go at least 2 and 1 this week. Otherwise, we might have a risk of dropping down leagues again, and we don't want to do that. We want to try to increase. So 2 and 1 or 3 and 0, that's going to be our main target right now. And just a reminder, if you do like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's take a look at our opponent, Matt. My opponent, Matt, is about 97 million TCP. Currently, I'm sitting at about 83 millions. This will be a 14 million punch up for me. However, because of how early it is in the season and people are still trying to find their footing for their offensive and defensive teams, so I do feel like this won't feel as much of a punch up for me as it normally would. For the defense that I'll be going against today, my opponent has Mercs for money with X-23. It does look like they are waiting for the payout to be able to take Old Man Logan up. Stage 2 is going to be the Infinity Watch. Stage 3 is X-Treme X-Men with Dorm. Stage 4 is Gambit Rogue, Black Knight, Captain America, and Phoenix. Stage 5 is going to be a Hive Mind with Undying combination. And stage 6 is going to be Super Skrull and Friends. For stage 1, I'm going to use my new warriors with Echo. I know last week I was having a lot of issues going against Merc for money and even used that new warriors on it. So I am going to try something different as far as how to attack them. And this should work a whole lot better than it did last week for me. So for one pull, I'm actually not going to use the special. I'm actually going to target X-23 and use the basic instead. Now for Firestar's turn, I'm going to target the Old Man Logan and use the ultimate. Death pull, I'm going to target the Deadpool now and use the special. So that way I can spread those negative effects over to Old Man Logan, which does cause him to bleed out. Now this match is going to be a whole lot easier. Cloak, I end up using the ultimate. That takes out the X-23. Echo, I use the special so I can get some evades up on her. And because there's that trauma on Deadpool, he actually doesn't heal up from all those negative effects. Now that Gwen pulls up, I am going to use that ultimate. I was trying to get some permakills, however, there was death proofs on the other side. Firestar, I use the special. For Deathpool, I do end up using the basic because I don't have those charges for that permakill. Gwenpool, I end up doing the special. And now I'm actually going to try to take out the Dakin. Now all that's left is going to be the Panda Pool, and I'm able to take him out. This worked a whole lot better than it did last week for me. For stage 2, I'm going to use my Eternals, my Tangled Web members, and Spider-Man Big Time. This is a pretty good counter, usually one you end up seeing in Infinity Watch on defense, so that's what I'll be using today. The Spider-Man Big Time will target the Gamora and use the special. That way you can try to get the revive once off of Gamora and Nebula. The 2099, I'm going to use the ultimate, so that way I can try to get some buffs. Spider Weaver's now up. I'm going to target anybody and just use the ultimate. It will miss though because of the evades on the other team. Icarus is up. I'm going to use the ultimate, and here I actually do get the double tap because I got the Nebula weak enough. Cersei's up next. I'm going to use the ultimate, and that's going to do another turn meter rewind. Spider-Man Big Time's back up. I'm going to use the ultimate so I can hit everybody, and that does end up taking out the Gamora. Spider Weaver's up. I'm just going to use the basic into the Moondragon. I was hoping to kill her there with the ice attack, but I didn't. Icarus is up. I'm going to use the special, and that does end up calling the assistant, and Moondragon is killed off. Now I just had to worry about the Adam Warlock and Phyla-Vell. This is going to be a very easy cleanup. Cersei does the special into the Phyla-Vell, and now I just have the Spider Weaver to do the basic to do the permakill on Adam Warlock. For stage 3, I'm going to use my full Masters of Evil team into this X-Treme X-Men with Dorm. Now this is going to be a finesse match, and this is a 1.1 million punch up, so this is going to be a little bit risky, but I feel very confident in this matchup. Titania will be going first in this matchup. I'm going to target the Forge and use the ultimate so I can put the ability block on him. King will be going up next. I'm going to use the special into that Forge, and because there's the vulnerable, I'm going to get the double tap onto him as well. For Ultron's turn, I'm going to use the special onto the Nightcrawler so I can do a nice turn meter rewind to him. Now Moonstone's going to use the special on the Nightcrawler as well. That's going to put the trauma stun on him. For the bots, I'm going to use the special. Titania's backup, I'm going to use the special onto the Dorm. I want to get him low enough for the Kang ultimate. The next bot is up, I'm going to use the special ability on that. The bot that has the heal, I'm just going to do a basic attack into the Nightcrawler. Absorbing Man, I was trying to decide if I want to do the special or ultimate. I decided to go for the special, and I'm going to target the Nightcrawler with that. For Ultron's turn, I am going to use the ultimate on that Nightcrawler, and that got him very low. So now I do have several numbers ready for that Kang ultimate. For Kang's turn, I'm going to target the Dorm and use the ultimate now. That did get rid of the Forge and Nightcrawler. The ISO attack did end up taking care of the Dorm. Now I have a very easy cleanup between Sunspot and Cyclops. Moonstone's going to use the ultimate on Sunspot. Titania's going to use the ultimate on Cyclops. That does take 1 life of Cyclops off. When it comes back to Ultron's turn, I do end up doing the special, so I can call in many bots for the attack. Kang is back up. I'm going to target the Sunspot and use the basic. That does end up taking care of the Cyclops, and now I have a very easy cleanup on the Sunspot. This match went very well for me, and I played it pretty much perfectly. For stage 4, I'm going to use my Superior 6 with Apocalypse. I'm going to drop the Spider Slayer. I want to keep the Lizard here, mainly for the buff peeling abilities of it. This is going to hurt my efficiency because that Black Knight and the Gambit pings, but I feel this is the best counter for me to be able to use against this defense. Green Goblin Classic is going to be going first in this matchup. I'm going to use the ultimate so I can do a nice turn meter rewind to everybody. That does peel quite a bit of the buffs off of the Black Knight, however the immunity is still there. Lizard's up, I am going to use that ultimate to peel that off as well, and now I have the taunt on the Lizard as well. The Green Goblin Classic pings do end up taking care of the Phoenix. Because of Kraven's special, I'm going to target the Rogue. That's going to hit everybody, and it's still going to put the ability block on the Phoenix, which is very important. Doc Ock is up. I'm going to summon the Shocker out on the field. Now that Apocalypse is up, I'm going to use that ultimate. That basically clears the field, and I'm going to use the Falcon Punch on the Black Knight. Rogue ended up bleeding out. I still took some efficiency hits based on the health bonuses, but as far as turn bonuses goes, this went very well for me. For stage 5, I'm going to use the Secret Defenders with Nova on this one. I did end up switching Ghost Rider Robbie over to a Raider. That way I actually have some striker abilities to hit into for this. Ms. Marvel Hardlight is going to be stuck behind the Zombie Juggernaut taunt. I'm still going to use the ultimate on that though, so that way I can actually get the taunt, and the ability block from the Void Knight will be going on her. Black Cat did end up dying out from the bleeds, however, she was very vital in this matchup because of remove the revive once on spawn. I do end up using her special on the Red Goblin, and I got the trauma stun on the Red Goblin and a nice chain. The passive from Photon did end up doing quite a bit of damage and killed one of the Gregs. Greg came back up and he does have the taunt. Nova's going to use the basic on that. I felt I didn't really need to use the special there in case I did need to use that later on in the match. Ghost Rider Robbie, I'm going to use the special into the zombie Juggernaut so I get the ability block on him. Photon is back up and I'm targeted on the Greg because of the taunt. I use her special and I still get blinds on quite a bit of important characters from that. The Robbie passive ended up doing quite a bit of damage to the enemy side, and there's quite a bit of bleeds over there. Robbie is going to use that ultimate, and it basically cleared the field, so now all I have left to kill is going to be one Red Goblin and the Void Knight. Black Cat is back up. I'm going to use the ultimate on the Void Knight. That does end up taking him out with the ISO attack. Now I just have to worry about the Red Goblin, and this is going to be a very easy cleanup. I was very impressed with how this team ran. Again, the Nova, I didn't even have to use that special on this. For stage 6, I'm going to use my Cabal, Emma, and Vulture. The Emma is basically there to negate the enemy Emma. The Cabal is going to be very fast and basically shut down the Super Skrull, and Vulture's there to be able to go first and do a nice turn meter rewind at the start of this matchup. So my Vulture will be going first because I don't have any heroes on my side, so I'm going to go before the enemy Vulture. I use the ultimate to do that turn meter rewind at the start. Iron Patriot, I'm going to use the special, and I'm going to stay targeted on that Super Skrull. The assist did come in from Namor to take him out. Now the main threat's going to be the Quicksilver. I did do a slight misplay there. I ended up doing Vulture special instead of basic, so that ended up causing the Quicksilver to go first. However, Namor's ultimate basically takes care of the enemy field, and now I just have to worry about the Scarlet Witch, and Leader ends up taking her out with no problem. And it looks like the defense changes that I made worked really well, and my offense was pretty flawless as far as how my matches played out. My opponent ended up getting a 48,151, while I got a 50,174. Let's go ahead and take a look at the defenses and see how the scores ended up panning out. For stage 1, I got an 8363. The New Warriors Echo finally worked out for me. However, since we just got that payout, I don't believe that this will be working anymore in the future. For stage 2, I got an 8363. Getting the double tap early in this type of matchup always helps out as far as the efficiency goes. Otherwise, the Affinity Watch is still a pretty big efficiency sink. For stage 3, that's where I had that 1.1 million punch up with the Masters of Evil into the X-Treme X-Men Norm. That got me at 8360. I was very satisfied with how that matchup played out for me. For stage 4, I got an 8361. This one ended up hurting my health bonus quite a bit because of those Black Knight retaliates and that Gambit ping. However, as far as the turn bonuses went, it went very well for me. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. I don't really see how you can get a very good efficiency without Mephisto for this matchup. For stage 5, I got an 8357. This one here could have gone a little bit better. The health bonus and losing the photon at the end definitely cost me a little bit. I think we can try to find a different placement in that Nova position. We don't really need the Doctor Strange here, but Nova really didn't do anything for us. For stage 6, I got an 8370. I was very happy with how this one played out. I think I could have maybe squeaked out one extra point, but getting to 8370, I'm not really going to complain about that. Now let's go ahead and see how my defenses went. In stage 1, I had Infinity Watch Quicksilver. This pulled their Masters of Evil and got them at 8357. For stage 2, I had Mercs for money with Zombie Juggernaut. I want to put that pre-taunt in there to really throw off any specific type of counter that they might end up using. Now that we got the payout, I'm really curious how this team will fully impact Cosmic Crucible. My opponent ended up getting a 79-64 on this one. For stage 3, it looks like my opponent struggled quite a bit with this. This was my out-of-time dorm team. I basically treated stage 3 as a dead room. They tried the Masters of Evil, they tried Masters of Evil with Spider-Man Big Time, and then they ended up having to use their Spider Society with Spider-Man Big Time, which I think is a pretty clever counter for this. They had a very low turn bonus score on this one, however their health bonus was perfectly fine. Overall, this got them a 75-52. For stage 4, it looks like they struggled on this one as well. I used the 3-piece X-Treme X-Men with Rogue and Black Knight in stage 4, that way any of those debuffs end up sticking because of the Black Knight traumas that he deals out on his retaliates. Initially they tried the Eternals, Apocalypse, Nova, Spider-Man Big Time. That didn't work, so they went back in with the Superior 6 Apocalypse. That didn't get the full clear, so they had to go back in with the cleanup where they used their Eternals, Tangled Web, and Kestrel. This got them a 75-66. For stage 5, they used their Cabal, Morgan Le Fay, Dr. Doom. The main purpose of this room for me is to mainly pull that Cabal, that way they can't use it on the Mercs for Money team, especially now that Old Man Logan is gonna have all of his stars from the payout. This ended up getting them at 83-62. And for stage 6, they ended up using their Secret Defenders with Lizard into my Spider Society. This got them at 83-50. The turn bonus was very low, and I even did some health bonus damage to them. The Spider Society in stage 6 is going to be a pretty big deal because of how those buffs are going to be spread out. The placement that I have is basically Spider-Man Noir is going to be ulting every turn and keep dishing out a lot of stealths over to the Penny and the Peter B. Parker. Overall, I was very happy with how my defense played out. I had a lot of pretty good victories on there, and it looks like they even try to use specific teams where they had a lot of strong characters on it, and that still even failed out for them. I'm going to try to keep this defense for a little bit to give it a nice test run, but at least for this matchup, I'm very happy with how that ended up playing out. Matt was a very good player. He had a pretty good defense, and he had a lot of stuff still for offense. I think it was just the defense got to be a little bit too much for them, especially with the new season that ended up coming. Hopefully we do end up getting a rematch in the future. I'd love to play you again. And I also hope that all of you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.